Oh, the drive of no driver. Yeah, no, that was. I guess I could talk about that. I went to visit Arizona, actually. Arizona, in the country of the United States, which also happens to be my first time going there. They have a lot of rock, but they also have this really cool thing called a Waymo. And apparently you could just it's like Ubering, right? But instead of Uber, like like your ride apps, instead of those, you do a Waymo. And this car that's with like it has like cameras on top of it, like that surrounds the entire car, and it just comes, and then it's so cool because it actually stops right at the general location. You walk up to it, you press a button, you unlock the car, you sit in it, you close it, and it goes. It rooms. The thing is though, here's the thing, one of the biggest things I do not personally like about Ubers is that sometimes the drivers talk to you. And I know they don't mean anything. They don't mean bad. Obviously, maybe they just haven't talked to people in a while. But like, man, sometimes I just want to sleep. Sometimes I just want to like look at my phone or just like look outside. I don't really want to talk. When I say it's good for introverts, I kid you not. I sat down and then they had like this lo-fi music going on. I cranked that up to 100. The entire car was just filled with this lo-fi music, and I felt like I was in like futuristic cyberpunk taxi. Like, oh, that was so nice. There was even the option of like turning on, I think, like Disney songs if you want to do karaoke as well. Like, oh, that was so cool. That was so cool. And it's cheaper too. It's not that bad. It's not that cheap. It's not that expensive compared to like other like ride apps as well. And the best part is you don't have to pay tip. Hey, I mean tip culture important in this too. But it is very vibey, and honestly, I wish I had the chance to ride it again, but I didn't. Because I ended up driving for the rest of the trip. I went with a couple friends and I basically practiced driving just for this moment. Drove a lot in Korea just to practice driving. Basically, they were like, oh, we need someone to drive, and none of them can drive. And I was the only one technically had a license. I was like, you know what? I'll practice in Korea and then I'll drive. So I drove my first time in years. Yes, first time in like 8 years or so. But I was really good. All I did was scratch the car once. And it wasn't even on a different car this time. It was on a rock. It was actually really sad. I was parking and I didn't realize that there was just I was parking in the screen that shows, like the parking thing, right? In the screen, there was like nothing there. There was nothing there. So I was like, okay, I'll just like keep moving in. I'll just keep slowly parking in. It was all good. And then I heard like a sound, like a sound. I was like, whoa, what's crazy is going on? Open, I look down, there's a fucking rock. I was like, there's just this rock in the parking lot. It was this huge ass rock, and it scratched the bumper. But that's all. That was the only issue. And everything else, I did perfect driving. I felt pretty manly. Felt pretty good. I felt pretty good about myself. Yeah, just the most randomest of rocks. It was just there. Na 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 na.